Hey everybody, Alex here and welcome to Momentum Charting. Today is September 8th. I hope you are having a fantastic day. It's been a few days here since we've done an update on broad markets, so I figured, today was a good time to do it because there's sort of an update looming in the broad markets. This video is going to be on the SPY, the S&P, and I'm going to do another video after this on the QQQs. So if you have not watched the video on the Qs, make sure you check that out later. But here we are now. But before we get into this video, guys, make sure you jump down below and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be the only way to ensure you don't miss any important, any crucial updates on the broad markets, on the SPY, all your favorite stocks. Period of increased volatility here incoming, it looks like, guys, for the time being. So I'm going to be giving all the important, all the pertinent updates on a regular basis here in the coming couple of weeks, just to see how this all shakes out. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for doing that. Guys, let's jump in here to the video. So it's been just a grind here. I'm here on the chart of the SPY on a daily time frame inside trading view, like I usually like to start to get a big picture. And it's just been a slow grind higher since around late August. So a couple weeks here of trading. We had that long holiday week. Market just been slow, choppy. But it looks to me, guys, like definitely right now, everything that I'm showing here, and I'm going to give you the evidence, but all the sort of parts of the recipe that we need in order for a correction to take place have now entered the market. As you guys know, I've kind of explained my trading style to you before, but to see a broad market correction, especially when we're in such a very, very bullish environment, I definitely need to see two things in place. One is the breakdown of the daily time frame in the SPY, and we have gotten that, okay? And then the next thing that I need to see is some sort of a setup on the VIX, the Volatility Index, that indicates to me there is a chance for a spike in the VIX to the upside. And if you're missing either of those crucial two elements, there just doesn't really exist anything to me that indicates a correction is looming or anything like that. Now, do I think this is going to be a massive correction? No, I don't necessarily believe that it is. But what I think kind of we're headed for here, guys, is one of these two corrections. And I'm going to break this down for you here in a second. But I think we're headed for one of these periods here, either something like this, where we dropped close to 2% over the period of a couple days, or something like this. And I'm just doing that from today's closing candle, right? Just to give you an idea of possibly what to expect over the next couple of days. Here we dropped around 3%. And maybe something like this, right? A drop of around 2.15. So kind of averaging those three together, somewhere maybe around 2.3, 2.5% correction, possibly incoming over the next couple of days. Again, if you're a long holder in the broad markets, there's obviously, as of yet, absolutely nothing to be concerned about. But this is to me for short-term traders and maybe people looking to capture a little bit of volatility in options positions or short-term trades. We just want to be really, really careful on all of your short-term trades over the next couple days at least. And I'm going to show you exactly the point where I believe the correction is going to be over. Okay, so let's open this up again here on the daily time frame, and you can see here since this touch points here on August 19th, I've got this really nice trend line on a daily time frame, and we did break out of that just barely on the 3rd of September towards the end of the day. Wasn't a clear breakout, but then on the Tuesday session, and yesterday's session, we've gotten a more clear and convincing breakdown of this daily time frame. In addition, we can see here on the daily momentum chart the momentum starting to put in a sell signal. You can see that here, okay, and starting to push to the downside. So we've got those two things, and then let me just break in here so we can to a shorter time frame. I'll use the 3 hour for now, and let's see if we can open this up here. You guys can see on a 3 hour time frame, this on the S&P on the SPY is still pushing to the downside here, so that lines up nicely with what we're seeing on a daily time frame as far as momentum. More importantly, let me go ahead and open up this 3 hour chart. So this was the daily trend line I had set in place, and you guys can see that not only have we broken that to the downside, but we've also broken this sort of, I would call, very minute term trend line support here that I had in place from around the 31st of August. That broke down during late yesterday and today's trading session. You guys know, in a bull market, these downtrends can definitely take a while to develop. So that's kind of what's looks like has been happening to me here over the past few trading sessions. We're kind of setting up for a larger degree of fall in markets here. Like I said, my anticipation is going to be somewhere between probably 2 and 3%. And what I'm going to be watching for. So again, we've got the ingredients in place. The momentum is dropping, right, on the daily time frame, the 3 hour time frame, and we've got the daily time frame broken, important trend line here, and small term time frame trend line here, and most importantly, what we have now in place is an establishment of a downtrend. Okay, this is on a 3 hour time frame. So and this has just been put in place really on a really nice this nice downward sloping trend line over the past couple of days. So all the ingredients here are in place, guys, and I'm going to show you the chart of the VIX in a second. But we've got the breakdown of the daily, breakdown of this minute term trend line, and very importantly, on a larger time frame, either a daily, and I believe this is going to show up on a daily time frame over the next couple of days, depending how long this correction lasts. But we've got this established on this 3 hour chart, this nice series of trend line pushing these candles to the downside, and I believe once again that is going to result in a correction similar to what we saw here in middle of August, or similar to what we had happened here around the middle of July. Okay, and what are we going to need to break to the outside or start clearing this negative downward pressure in the markets? It's very, very obvious what we need to have happen here, guys. So on your own charts, if you want to do this, that's good. It's a good exercise to do. Just draw this trend line with touch points here on 3rd of September, 12:30, and then just follow these bars to the downside. And in order to clear the downward pressure from here, what we need to have happen is to break to the outside of this trend line. But not only that, we need to start putting in some candles, some structure that has us pushing back to the upside. Okay? If we do not meet those conditions, number one, and I'm going to show you on the VIX what we need to have happen, downward pressure is going to continue, and you just want to be very, very careful about your short-term trading positions in the market while we're entering this period of what appears to be increased volatility. So I'm following this trend line right now to the downside on the SPY, okay? And you guys can see kind of how we broke out of this one, and I'll illustrate that to you here. So on this breakdown of the SPY here, we kind of had these two different degree trend lines. The first one and most important one was this one here, and you guys can see that we never the market didn't start to recover until we got this body, this candle body above this trend line, and got sort of this structure. Even though at the time this structure wasn't that strong that we put in place, it was clear on the daily time frame. I'll show you that here, right here. A last breakdown here around August 16th. It was clear you had these two nice upward candles and connecting the candle bodies here around August 23rd. We started to get this structure in place, breaking out of this pullback. And that is exactly what we're going to need to see here, okay? We're going to need to see this pull out of this sort of tailspin. Now, this correction has just been a little baby correction since the tops here, right? Around 0.4, 0.5%. So no harm, no foul as of yet. But if you're not like out of short-term trading positions, or you've got calls on the SPY, something like that, yeah, just be really, really careful over the next few days of this potential pullback in market. So again, the most crucial things on a daily time frame: we've broken the downtrend of the SPY, of this uptrend, and now we've established a new downtrend on a 3-hour. Okay, so again, we're going to be looking for a break to the upside of this downtrend here. So I'm expecting that to happen somewhere in this zone here, if not down here. If we were to come all the way back down to this trend line here, that would represent a drop from current prices around 2.24%. So that kind of falls really nicely in line with that correction potential that I was saying before. Just a little pullback, not even really a real correction, up around 2.1 to maybe 3%. So I'm going to be watching for that. But again, you know, once these corrections get started, guys, you just don't know. You don't want to try to anticipate in advance where they're going to go, because what is possible to happen, right? Even if you do get a break to the outside somewhere in these areas, unless you get a strong established series of higher lows and higher highs, this thing can fail and start moving lower. So I'm going to keep you guys apprised of all that stuff, but I do believe that this isn't in the works now. We aren't setting up for a larger degree correction at this point. I believe this is going to be a smaller degree correction that is going to repair itself over the next few trading sessions once this downside momentum has been killed, and I believe that's what's going to happen here within the next few trading sessions. And then again, let's see, go back here to this session back here, and you guys can see here, I'll put this here, we have this kind of series, this nice trend line in place here, middle of July, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, and then we kind of got this set of increased, right here, candles pushing down, and then got this nice move back to the upside here. So this is kind of what I'm going to be watching for in order for us to safely start re-entering the market and looking to reestablish long positions, okay? And yeah, let's see here. I did want to show you this DRSI chart here. I'm on the 1 hour. You guys can see here pretty clearly we've got this series of lower highs and lower lows that we are putting in right now, right here, which looks to me to be very, very similar to this time period here. Back here around the middle of July, and also looks pretty similar to this time period in August here, right? So one of these two time periods here, all right, you can see this kind of starting to break to the downside on this DRSI, and that again looks to be kind of what's happening here on this DRSI chart. I'm going to be watching for a continued pullback here. Again, nothing much has happened as of yet, but I'm expecting tomorrow and subsequent days maybe to have some selling pressure pushing prices to the downside on the SPY. And lastly, let's yeah, let's look at the chart of the VIX here. I did want to show this because I thought this was interesting also. And let's see here. I'm again on the 3-hour time frame. So to me, this period of time is starting to look very, very similar to one of these two periods here. Again, this middle of July or this middle of August, where we started getting these push-ups on a 3-hour time frame. And I'll show that here as well. On the 3-hour time frame, the chart here of the VIX, you guys can see how we started. We broke this long-term downward trend line. Obviously, this was a period of where markets were strong. When you start getting this push to the upside in the VIX, that's obviously coinciding with a period of volatility and weakness in the markets. So I believe we have something that's starting right here, guys. And let's see here. Again, I'm on a 3-hour time frame. So definitely what I want to have happen here in order for markets to return to normal and volatility to wane and start collapsing in this market is for us to break to the downside of this 3-hour trend line that I've established here, right? So if, say for instance, markets were very strong tomorrow, and over the next 3 to 8 hour sessions we started getting just bars in this direction, and volatility broke through this 3-hour upward trend line and broke to the downside tomorrow and the next day, that to me would be a strong signal that markets were ready to return to their march higher, right? Can slow bleed in prices to the upside. But what I'm expecting to happen rather than that, right, is for us to start breaking prices on the VIX to the upside here in a very similar fashion, again, to what happened here in the middle of August. And, you know, so definitely if this volatility starts to increase over the next couple of days, I want to be looking just like we did in here last time for a breakdown in this VIX that would be the first signal that markets were ready to normalize and start marching higher again, guys. But until that happens, until we get a breakdown in this VIX and a return to normal volatility, I am definitely expecting weakness in the markets over the coming days, and I will let you guys know. And that's basically the entirety of the video, guys. So I've got some important things to be watching here. Very, very important trend line here, number one, and number two, the second ingredient that I need to have in order to see that correction is the volatility index, and which looks to be having some potential strong increases in place over the next couple of days. So I'm going to be watching those couple things over the next couple trading sessions. Guys, make sure, in order to make sure you do not miss tomorrow's update, I will definitely 100% do an update on the S&P tomorrow, most likely after tomorrow's trading session, or unless something really, really important happens during the trading session tomorrow. For instance, we have a massive downturn in the market or some huge spike in the market which just kills that volatility trend line, and looks like we're starting to establish a new uptrend in markets. I'll bring you an update tomorrow during the session, but if not, expect an update tomorrow after trading day. So subscribe to the channel and make sure you don't miss that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for everything, and I will see you all again very soon in the next SPY update. Good evening, and bye for now.